To our Sunday edition of Pageantry Now, where we talk about all the things that are positive about pageantry and being able to highlight the great things that men and women are doing all over the world with pageants. Sometimes you see reality TV or you see bloopers the day after a pageant, and you get such a offset kind of connotation about what pageants are all about, when the truth of the matter is these men and women all over the world are making huge differences in the lives of other people everywhere. So with that being said, hey guys, so glad to see you. Thanks for joining. I hope that we will be able to move up. If you are a fan, please share this. There's a capture button that's got like a little circle in it, so please capture the moment. And no, today's wonderful. Every day is a blessing. And then we do have special guests, so hopefully we'll make you feel better about everything, okay, Pop-Tart? So please make sure you share us, give us likes if you like what we're talking about, and invite your friends. Hey, how are you? So glad to have you. I see that our special guest is in, so I'm going to see if I can go ahead and invite her so that we can get this started. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. Just bear in mind that we are a PC show, so please make sure that the questions are not religious, that they are not political, and they are appropriate for children 13 and older. So, hey guys, hey B, what's up? Oh my gosh. Haylin, I'm glad you're here. Oh, I'm so sorry, Pop-Tart, but I'm glad you're here. Hey, Bay, what's up? Share us, like us, please share, guys. Please, 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 please. We have a wonderful guest today, one of my pageant sisters, and she's here to be able to talk about her title, what she does with her title, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our experience at the Woman of Achievement pageant that happened 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago today. I can't believe it's been 5. Thanks, B. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Let me see if I can get her in and get this game going. Thank you, madam. I'm wearing my Woman of Achievement t-shirt, so there you go. Thanks, Pop-Tart. Thanks for inviting people. Let's move us up, and girls, let's get this thing going. Hold on 1 second. We appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I lagging at all? Hey, Mo, what's up? Hey, beautiful. Can you see me?
Yes. Can you
and
hear
me? I can hear you. Can
Perfect.
you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How are you, lovely?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I am fantastic. Do me a favor, introduce yourself. Tell us your title, your name, and what do you want to be when you grow up?
What do I want to do? The first thing I have to say is about your introduction. When you say it's PC, I'm like, did I know this when you invited me on the show?
Oh, sorry.
So anyway, I'm Kay Royal. I am Mrs. Elite Southwest Woman of Achievement with the Woman of Achievement pageant. And so, yes, met you about 5 weeks ago, met you online way before then, and knew that you were a sister of the heart forever.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so blessed. I think that we all agree that being part of this pageant has really brought a lot of us together, and people that we would not have met or would have not have had opportunities to spend time with have really touched our hearts and have become truly our sisters. And for those of you that are not familiar with pageants, and you hear, people saying, oh, it's so great, I love them, they're my friends, and it's going to be wonderful. It really is. I mean, I talk to you often. I talk to, several of the girls every day. It's kind of scary sometimes that you meet these women and they change your lives. So,
yes.
I'm so blessed. What's wrong with my hair? Mo, what did I do? Wait, my hair's long. Anyways, okay, so let's talk a little bit about. Yeah, it's different. It's just I'm growing it out a little bit. So I know it's long. Isn't it weird? Everyone's commenting on my hair. Usually my hair is really short.
Your hair looks fabulous, Stacey.
Thank you. Thank you. You look gorgeous, by the way, my love. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, the woman that just trots across the world talking about about all of the wonderful things you do. So Jess K, or That's Okay, tell me all about your platform and what it is. Love your necklace. You see
Thank
people.
you. Thank you very much. Well, let me start with explaining my platform for Woman of Achievement when I competed, and then I want to go into more of what you and I talked about since then. So for people on the video, to let you know, I did not grow up a pageant girl. I am from Mississippi. I live in Arizona. And I entered the pageants because my daughter, who is currently in a dual master's program and just graduated with a dual degree with this magna summa cum laude thing, you know. I was the first, yeah, right. I was the first one in my family to get a bachelor's degree. And so we were really, really poor. And so growing up, pageant wasn't a thing. But I did compete in one my senior year of high school, so I was about 16. And you were supposed to wear the big, white, fluffy debutante gown, and we were too poor to afford that. And so we bought this rose-colored gown. My grandmother hemmed it too short. I was mortified. And when I went on stage to do my talent, which was a speech, of course, because, you know, it's me, I completely forgot my words. And not only did I completely forget my words, I looked over to the side of the stage, and this is what I did on stage in the competition. And ever since then, you know, everybody has these nightmares. The three most common nightmares are naked in public, losing your teeth, or falling off a cliff. My nightmare is this pageant that I did when I was a teenager.
Oh my gosh.
So it was something, and so with my daughter competing, one of my best friends, she happened to be my boss at the time, told me, Kay, you need to banish a nightmare and build a dream. And so that's what I did. I entered my first pageant, and that was the Mrs. Arizona pageant. So I am also Mrs. Scottsdale. I am so not the Scottsdale people, but I guess I'm becoming the Scottsdale people because I have a Mercedes, but it's 2001. But it's a V8. It's an AMG. It growls.
I just traded mine in last week.
Do what?
I traded in my Mercedes last week. I had an SLK.
What'd you get?
An SUV. Okay, I do not have children. I do not have children. I will not have children. But our business.
I'm an empty nester, so
I know. But that was the thing. Is like I decided I was going to get a sports car. I got it 4 years ago. It was a beautiful drop top SLK convertible. It only seats 2 people. Great pageant car. Yeah, not so good for if you own a gymnastics company.
Well, having 2 girls with all of their friends, I had always had SUVs.
Right.
Honda Pilots, especially. I loved them. And saved our life more than once. And so when I got my job in Silicon Valley, I was living in Texas at the time. I'm not from Texas. I'm from Mississippi. But I was living in Texas, and I got a job in Silicon Valley. And it never occurred to me that I could buy my dream car used. So I took my Pilot, and I went down to the car lot, and I walked away with a 2001 Mercedes AMG, paid for. $4,000 in my Pilot, done. It's a V8. It ruins the environment everywhere I go.
Yes, but it was made by hand because it's an AMG, so there you go. Because I am a car girl, so I mean that's a huge thing for me.
And it
stop. Be nice.
I love it. It growls. But I did feel guilty, so I went and got a BMW all electric as well. Yeah.
Now I'm jelly. Okay.
Yeah, it's the orange one. That's like a little box car, and it's orange.
Yeah. No, they're adorable. I mean, I love them. I was like, okay. And I thought about getting the Tesla, because the Tesla now has an SUV. It's got a small SUV.
Tesla was also looking for a privacy attorney. I'm just saying.
And it was on a very reasonable track, but the problem is that I don't have a garage. I live in a condo, so it's not going to work. So, anyways, no Tesla.
Teslas are cool, but I will tell you that I went looking for a little smart car. I just wanted something cheap. Turns out you can't really get them in Arizona. There's no incentives for manufacturers, so the only electric I could get was the BMW, and they had to import it from California. But I do love it. It speeds up as fast as my Mercedes does. So I gun that puppy, but it doesn't growl.
No. My Mercedes, the best part was being able to sit at the stoplights, because here in Miami, it's very car centric. Your car says who you are, and so we get a lot of kids that race, and they just think they're so cool because they've got these souped up cars, and I'm just like,
and I think your audience is laughing at me for saying BMW because I'm Southern, right?
No.
Is it just because I'm weird?
Because you're cool. Yeah, Beatrice is laughing. Honestly, I love the way you say it because it reminds me of being in Texas. So you're totally okay with saying BMW.
Well, I was going to say, if you're laughing at the way I say it, you ought to see the way I drive it.
Say Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
what is it? B-dubs? B-dubs? WW? Okay, I'm sorry. All right, back
off track. Sorry. Okay,
stuff.
back to pageant stuff.
Back to pageant stuff. Okay, so I'm not a pageant girl, and but I have a lot of disabilities, systemic disabilities. I have lupus, Sjogren's, fibromyalgia, celiac, osteoporosis. I mean, you name it, pretty much I've probably had it. And I had to lose weight. I was officially pre-diabetic, and all of my weight was belly weight. And they told me I had to lose weight, and they told me to lose 15 pounds, and I gained 15 pounds. Because it was like, oh no, last time I could ever have chocolate cake, last time I could ever have, now this was before I knew I had celiac too, so it was fudge and chocolate cake and cookies and donuts and pizza and everything. I knew I was pre-diabetic.
I have an answer just really quick. Beatrice, just so you know, all of us are pre-diabetic because pre-diabetic means you're not diabetic, so just saying.
Yes, but for what I was referring to is there is a level in your sugar scores for your A1Cs.
Yes.
That if you hit a certain level, and the A1C measures your blood glucose averaged over the past 90 days. And so if you hit a certain level, you're diabetic. If you're right below that level and just in the little mid-range, you're considered pre-diabetic. Not bad enough yet to be diabetic, but you're definitely worse off than the rest of the population. So I gained weight. And then I went on medication for my lupus and everything, and I still didn't know I had celiac at this time. And so apparently my body was in just total response. And I was on Plaquenil and methotrexate and amitriptyline for the fibromyalgia. And I got up, you'll laugh at me, but for me, I was not bigger than a size 2 until my mid-30s. Not that I worked at it, just naturally, I was a beanpole after 2 kids. So I never knew how to work out or watch what I eat or be healthy or conscious about it. So trying to learn this was really, really hard. And so I got up to a size 14, which for me was huge. And I did it within, I know people say it's not a long time, but I did it within 10 years. And trying to lose back down was really hard. And so I've lost 35 pounds, and I've got 20 more to go, although it's Thanksgiving, so I actually have 25 more to go now. And I'm Southern, so I like sweet stuff and pastas and sauces. But I had to lose weight. And so I don't lose weight to compete in a pageant. I'm competing in a pageant in order to lose weight. I'm a very competitive person, so I like that sparkly carrot.
So dangling the sparkly carrot makes you go, work a little bit harder to get healthy.
Exactly. So my platform for Woman of Achievement was Girls Rule Foundation. It's a foundation here in Arizona that works on self-esteem for girls. And I took it one step further, and I called it Women Defining Success. So the reason why, I'm an attorney, I'm a privacy attorney, and both in the male-dominated fields of medical and law, they say that women are not as successful as men. But in my view, in looking at this topic for several years, is it's not that women are not as successful as men. Maybe we don't hold the title general counsel or managing partner, but maybe it's because success means something different to us. Maybe our success means going home at a reasonable hour at night. And I have had people say, yes, your success is measured by the children you raise. Why? It's raised by what you yourself define as success. And maybe success for you means something different than someone else.
Right, exactly.
And so as women, I think we're afraid to actually define success for ourselves because we lack that self-esteem to stand up and be a unique individual. And I happen to be one of those people that most people would claim is truly unique. I wear pink cowboy boots to work. And
Score!
Purple cowboy boots. And peacock cowboy boots. And green cowboy boots. So that's actually
They
what
look
my platform
amazing
has become.
with her evening gown, by the way.
Do what?
They look amazing with your evening gown, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, I have to define a dress around my evening gown, right?
Oh my gosh. No,
But in
okay,
talking
so
to you, I'm going to keep.
yes,
competing.
she's married, Mo. Mrs. Elite Southwest, woman of
But
achievement.
that's okay, Mo.
Yes, she's married. You can
And I've
still
heard
love
Mo's
her.
married too. So, but I was going to say, just hold on, Mo. I'm on my third husband.
Okay, but I would say yes. Mo's engaged. She says he's getting married in Miami. I'll believe that when I see it. When I get the invitation, then we'll talk about it. And it's funny because Mo, I'm watching right now Sweet Home Alabama. So the running joke in our home is, do you know Mo? Because that's the line from Sweet Home Alabama. I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, I know Mo. Okay, go. And yes, I've asked her the question. I think I've asked you the question before. Have I asked you the question before?
What?
Do you like frogs? Why or why not?
I do like frogs. I love frogs. And if I had a frog or wanted to be a frog, it would be one of the little climbing tree frogs, but I want to be the poisonous one from South Africa.
The really colorful ones, or the ones
Yes.
from? Oh yeah.
And the ones I don't like are the gigantic dinner plate frogs that are poisonous, and that we find them here in Arizona. The dogs drag them up. Yeah, no.
Day of pageant, I got this as a gift.
I love that. I think it's
Do you
awesome.
see it? There's my frog.
There's your frog. I love
There's
frogs.
my frog. Okay, why did I ask that question? It has become a question that we have asked Miss Universe. We have asked Miss USA, Miss Worldwide. We've asked. Annie gave it to me. Is that not awesome, Mo? Is that not awesome? So I put it on my sash right away. She bought it for my sash specifically. So
And I have a friend that collects frogs.
So there you go. There you go.
Not that she meant to collect frogs, but she told me in law school that her
I'm
mama
great, Jacob. How are you? Sorry.
gave her frogs to collect, so now she collects frogs. So I just perpetuate it, and I buy her frogs too. So now I have to buy frogs for you too.
Well, it used to be for the longest time I got bees, but now frogs are a thing. Wait, I thought you thought of that question, Mo. Mo thought of that question because it was
Mo
a great
thought it. Well, I like the
icebreaker
question. Thank you, Mo.
Thank you, Mo, for being Thank you for being here today. Okay. All right, so sorry. Oh, we're going to digress. This is so bad.
Oh, we knew it when we scheduled.
We knew it. Mike says,
yes.
Mike says, "Gonna be good today." I'm like, "Oh yeah, me and Kay are gonna have a blast." So I'm not even.
Kay is so like squirrel.
Squirrel. Wait, what was that? Frog. Okay, good.
Yeah, right. We're good.
Okay, so let's tell us more about what you did at Woman of Achievement, and then we'll go into where you are now. So.
Okay. So, well, I do have to say, the one thing I loved about Woman of Achievement is the camaraderie of the women. Now, I had found that in the Mrs. Arizona as well, and the Mrs. Arizona, the contestants elected me Mrs. Congeniality, and I was like, okay, I can't say badass, can I? Okay, I am a very tough attorney. You can't elect a tough attorney as Mrs. Congeniality. You're completely blowing my reputation.
Your
here.
persona.
Yes,
Sorry.
but it turned out that some of the other women said that everybody changes over the days of the pageant, and they're friends at the first, and then it gets more cutthroat, or not really cutthroat, but they're focused on winning, and I don't change. I'm me. Doesn't matter when you meet me, how you meet me, I'm me. But at Women of Achievement, I found that for everybody, it was the same. Maybe I'm oblivious, but to me, everybody was so welcoming and so loving to everyone, and I went into one of the worst flares I've had in probably a decade. And you were with me the day that it happened. I don't know exactly what happened to kick it off, but it did. And the other contestants were all so fabulous in helping me. And my husband walked me to the room so I could sit in the back of the room, not for the whole session, but for about an hour and a half. They were doing the sessions on how to get published and write books. And as soon as he left me and walked out of the room, the fire alarm went off. And we had to walk down several flights of stairs. I was toast. I was done. And so when we got, yes, I am married. I'm married to my third husband, and he's phenomenal. And he spoils me and brings me breakfast and coffee in bed every day.
He's awesome. After the pageant, I was actually vomiting blood after the pageant, and he wheeled me like a crazy person in a wheelchair to my room. Didn't know what he was doing, and just like went. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so go ahead.
He knows how to take care of us. Yes, I do want a fourth husband, but this one has put his name up for that position. I'm going to wear let's see, last time I wore a periwinkle dress. I want to wear a peach color dress the next wedding I have. So he says we're going to get married again. What can I say?
Okay, great.
But anyway, so when I got the comments back last week, they were fabulous. I mean, I didn't win anything. And I didn't expect to win anything. Although I have to admit, my speech pretty rocked it.
Your speech was fabulous. Pretty awesome. How did you place in speech talent?
Second.
Okay, so I was third. So there you go.
There you go. But I have to say that the comments were phenomenal. And when I consider the fact that I could barely walk, I could barely think of my own name, much less focus on what I was doing, to be able to get the comments. Now, I completely blew the evening gown and the sportswear. Completely blew it. But I wasn't even sure how to put one foot in front of the other. So to get fabulous comments on everything I did, it was wonderful. It was nice to know, okay, I know what I need to work on, but if I'm starting from a position of I don't even know what my name is or how to walk, then
where did you place in platform?
Do what?
Where did you place in platform? Which one? We tied! Oh, okay!
So that was pretty awesome.
Okay, that makes me feel good.
Me too, for you, yes.
That makes me feel good. Okay. Now I'm good.
It was really nice. I mean, a lot of people would say, well, losing is bad. You shouldn't be excited about losing. No, I was floored by the comments, and I've had several of the judges befriend me on Facebook or LinkedIn. And when I made the post about how I thought I freaking rocked it, given what bad of situation I was in, one of the judges actually wrote back that she was floored to hear how bad I was doing at the time, because they could not see that.
Yeah, they had told the judges what was going on with me before I went into interviews, so they all knew already.
Well, they didn't with me, apparently.
Yeah, with you, I know that they didn't, but they actually had said that they told all of them. So I was like, because for those of you who don't know, I ended up in the hospital during pageant.
Yes.
I almost went into cardiac arrest. My potassium dropped so much that, you know, like when you get a leg cramp and your leg cramps up and you can't get the muscle release. That's what happened to my heart. And at one point, I couldn't speak, I couldn't think, I couldn't do anything, and so they called EMS.
You were in bad shape, baby doll.
I was not well, and I got a really, really, really bad, I got in trouble. I saw my cardiologist on Thursday.
Good.
And I got in big trouble. So I've been grounded. I'm not allowed to travel for a little while. Probably not for a lot of while.
I hate to say good, but good. You need to behave yourself. And I was a registered nurse before I became an attorney. Yes. So I absolutely know what she's talking about. And that's why I say that she and I were actually friends before we actually met, because we had so many things in common. Of course, absolutely. She's the glamorous pageant queen that rules everything and markets all. I'm just kind of like hanging on the coattails here.
Okay, yeah, because she spoke at the UN 2 weeks before pageant. Hello.
That was
the United
cool.
Nations.
Yeah. Cool.
Kind of, you know, she's just nobody. I'm a pageant girl, but she speaks at the UN. Whatever.
And then to find out
redneck. What? You're not redneck.
I am a redneck. I'm proud to be a redneck. It's only an insult if you're not a redneck.
I'm not a redneck, but I mean, because I was born in the North too. I mean, I was born in Detroit. You can't really get.
Oh,
much
well, you can't be a redneck if you're born north of the Mason-Dixon. I'm just saying.
No, baby, I was born in Detroit, so.
So yeah.
And then but now I live in Miami, so I'm really Southern, but it doesn't count.
Miami. See, I'm from Mississippi. You got that whole Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, a little bit of Florida, a little bit of Louisiana, a little bit of Tennessee kind of corridor. That's the deep South. And
Thank you. Well, and I used to live in Dallas, so I lived in Dallas for almost 10 years. So I consider myself a Texan because shalom.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I live in Dallas. Yeah. That's one thing. Once you become a Texan, you don't ever stop being a Texan. I think.
I never became a Texan.
Oh, see, I did because I'm from Amarillo.
See, I'm a Southerner. There's a big difference.
Southerner.
I'm a Southerner.
Southerner.
But I will tell you,
okay.
I went back to Mississippi for about 2 weeks because my brother had open heart surgery. Yes, less than 50 years old, open heart surgery. He had less than a 10% chance to actually survive the surgery. He is definitely a Southerner.
I'm
and
there.
My husband is from Chicago. Now, I laugh because he's from a city and I'm from a state. But his city has more people than my state. We say he's country club, I'm just country. But I was talking to him on the phone and I could hear the Southern coming out and I'm like, yes, baby, I can hear it. He's like, do you hear you talk? Yes, baby, I hear myself talking and I can't stop it. I hear it and the words are coming out of my mouth.
It happens to me when I go up north. Well, actually, it's funny. One of my friends, Stephanie McGrain, who works for Pageant Planet, is from Minnesota. And so my Heather, the accomplished American director and also Mrs. West Coast Woman of Achievement, whenever Stephanie and I talk, Heather laughs hysterically because all of a sudden I start speaking like I'm from the Midwest. As opposed to when I talk to my friends from Texas, where all of a sudden it's like, so what's going on? Y'all all right? Yeah? All right, let's go. So what are we going to do today? But when I talk to Annie, I speak with a Cuban accent.
You are just a metro woman. That's what it is. You're just a global woman.
It was like between being around Margarita and Annie, I was speaking in Spanish, which they both, speak perfect English. There was no reason for me to be speaking Spanish.
Didn't you just want to break out dancing?
Oh, dude, let me tell you, man, they're awesome. Awesome sauce. That's my life, though. I live here, so Michael's watching a football game, I think. When am I coming to Rhode Island? Again, I've been grounded, so I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, which puts a real damper in me going to the Philippines, and I'm really bummed about it because I cannot go to Miss Universe. And so, no.
I don't know how to frown. I've been practicing for years.
I have too, and I can do the boo boo face.
Oh, I can do that one.
Sorry, I deal with 2-year-olds, man.
Someone can probably record this, and the one vision of me coming out of this is going to be.
For those of you that didn't capture that moment, now would be the time. So there you go.
That was it. We're done. Oh, Stacy, I will say that the pictures that came from the pageant were fabulous. And in particular, all the pictures from my speech, which were me talking, and I was wearing a shirt, an outfit about this color.
It was very similar to that. Yeah, it was the same color.
All the pictures from it, oh, you don't want to see. It was like the whole time.
And roll.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
And roll. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I was doing the Lion King, so I can't even imagine what the photos look like. So
I took lots of pictures of you doing the Lion King. I'm just saying.
You did?
I did.
Can you send them to me? Oh my gosh, send them to me
because I uploaded them to Dropbox, and I've got about 50,000 photos on Dropbox, but I think I can sort through them again. life is documented on Dropbox. And yes, I am a privacy attorney that backs up to Dropbox.
So, oh, there you go. There you go. I mean, because I didn't get them from the photographer. We're just so tight right now. It's not even funny. Like we're opening our third location in 2 weeks. So,
of what?
Third location of gymnastics.
Oh, nice.
So,
congrats.
You know, all of that was just starting to come together during pageant, and so when I got home, I was like, okay, $50 to get fantastic pictures from the pageant, or $50 goes towards buying equipment.
Right.
So $50 went towards buying equipment. So.
Well, I will send you every picture I have.
Okay. Well, I mean, and honestly, that was the biggest thing for me is I just wanted to do that. That was on my bucket list, and I wanted to do it, and it was a blast, and I had a great time, and you know, and it's all good, all good. So thank you, B. So I think we all had a good time though. I mean, you know, it was a little crazy overall, just with respect to, you know, having to be someplace like every single moment. And I know that for both of us, I mean, I know that after the fire drill, you went to sit back down to watch the speakers. And I was like, I'm going back to the room, and you're like,
yeah, I left. I sat down
and I looked at you and I went, you are going to your room now. And I was like, oh my gosh, I went into mommy mode. I was like, whoa.
I listened. I was out of there. No arguing.
I was so,
and it was good. And I hated missing it because it's a fabulous pageant. And right now they're asking which of us are going to participate again this next year. Are you participating again this next year?
I'm done. I have retired from competition just because, again, I kind of knew after we finished pageant that I was not going to be competing again. But after speaking to my doctor, I need to not put myself under duress. So,
I haven't decided. And I'm trying to decide by today or tomorrow because Marlena wants to know.
I know.
I asked my husband, and he won't stop me from doing it if I want to do it.
I think he looked at me and he's like,
I thought that was a phase. Are we not done with the phase? And I'm like, oh, you thought it was like a 2016 thing. Okay.
My ex-husband asked me that.
There you go.
I did my first pageant because I had a dream after being a cancer survivor, and I literally had a physical dream, and I woke up and I thought, if I wore a crown, in the dream I won a pageant, that would open so many opportunities for me to be able to speak and to be able to travel. And so I told my husband,
and that's what I want to do.
And I said, I'm going to do a pageant. And he went, okay.
Well, and I am considering it because it may be a phase, but the phase isn't over yet. And I really did love Woman of Achievement. I think they were a fabulous pageant. I'm looking for that method of getting a platform, a forum, a bigger public forum, because I do love to change the world. And I only like to change it a little bit at a time. But if I consider what I've been able to do so far on my own, I can only imagine what I could do if I had a larger public forum in which to do it.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's one of the reasons, and it's not about me. It's not a KKK thing. Or KK. Let me make that bigger. More K's or less K's.
It's a Southern girl.
Three K's, not good. But it's not a K thing. There was a person in law school when I worked at the law school after I graduated for 4 years, and there was a lady there. Her name is Sarah. She was also disabled. She was in a wheelchair. She had 2 daughters. And after the first year of law school, you don't see most of the law students on a regular basis because they do internships or they get jobs or, they're coming and going. They may be visiting in another country, who knows. And so I hadn't seen her for a while, and there was an article about me done in, Chandler Times or something here in the Phoenix area about me and surviving domestic violence. I had 2 domestic violence marriages. My children were both diagnosed with lupus as well at 12 and 14 years old. And so it just about overcoming challenges and becoming who you are, becoming normal in my view. And I ran into her in the registrar's office, and she was the first person of her tribe to go to an Ivy League school. She was the first person of her tribe to graduate law school. But this was her second year, and she looked at me and said that she returned to law school because of me. And I said, "What do you mean you returned?" She said, "I had quit." She said, "But then I saw the article about you and how you had disabilities and you had survived domestic violence and you had 2 children." She said, "And I figured, you know what? If Kay can do it, I can do it." And she became the first person of her tribe to graduate law school, and then she set up a domestic violence clinic for her tribe.
That's
and
amazing.
That's how you change the world, Stacy.
Oh no, I absolutely agree, and I have seen so much happen in the last 13 years through competition and what I've been able to do using a crown as a microphone. I've had extreme, amazing opportunities. I've won the President's Call to Service Award from President Bush. I've been invited to the White House. I've spoken on behalf of stem cell research, for Congress. I've done some.
And you tease me about the United Nations, really?
I'm not teasing you. I just think it's a pretty amazing accomplishment. And we don't talk about those things because at the end of the day, that's not
what we're there for.
What we're there for. It's not about that. It's about going out and hopefully inspiring somebody. The reason I do this show is to be able to share stories of other women and men too that are in pageantry that are doing amazing things that don't get the recognition or the opportunities to be able to talk about what they do because, again, it's all about social media, and it's all about the bloopers, and it's all about the honey boo boos, which it happens, and I'm not going to tell you it doesn't happen in pageantry, but Miss World is going on right now, and like right now as we speak, like I keep wanting to look to see where we are as far as what's going on, because
I almost had it running in the next window so we could keep.
Well, it was on my iPad next to me, and I thought there's no way I'm going to be going like this the whole time. So I was like, no, I'm not.
I'll do it for you.
But I'll go back and I'll look at it. So, but Miss World is an amazing organization that is all about giving back to the world, and these women are doing amazing things, and they don't get the kind of recognition. Miss World is probably the best, most amazing international pageant that doesn't get any kind of media recognition for the things that these women do. So, it's like, and that's why Women of Achievement is the same way, is that here you have all of these fantastically talented, amazing women from all over the country that have, fantastic stories. I don't think there's any one of us that doesn't have a moving story or something really,
right.
I don't want to say catastrophic that's had us, but very unique situations where we've overcome obstacles to get to where we are, to be able to do the things that we do, and to be able to have a positive effect on people. And, at the end of the day, one of the things that got me back into pageantry, because I had taken a hiatus and I had retired.
Now you're going to help me.
Right, exactly. Well, that for me, to me, I would rather help other people at this point right now. That's where I'm at. But I had retired previously, and one of my girlfriends was diagnosed with end-stage cancer, and I was living in Texas, and she was here in Miami, and she said, "Please come home. I need you to be here. I need you to be here to get me through this." And so, as we're going through making all these plans of doing Relay for Life together and doing Queen for a Day, which I'm a director of. Which is host parties for kids who are going through cancer treatments, being able to become involved with team and training with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We're making all these plans of things that we're going to do together when she's in remission. And things took a turn for the worse. Thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you, you guys are awesome. Things took a turn for the worst. And she looked at me and she said, if you died tomorrow, what would you want to hear at your funeral? And I thought, wow, okay, we're talking, I looked at her and said, are we talking about me, or are you talking about what impact you have had? And she said, no. She goes, I'm going to die. I know that. We're all going to die. It's not something that we're ever going to get away from. It's not something that we're ever not going to face.
I was a hospice nurse, yes.
So if I died tomorrow, she says, if you died tomorrow, what would you want to hear at your funeral? What would you want people to say? And I said, well, that would be one of the hardest pageant questions ever, but it would be to have changed one life.
Yeah.
If I can pay it forward to one person, if I can inspire one person, that has a long-standing ripple effect.
Yes.
And
that's your legacy.
And that's your legacy. And that's, to me, that was huge. And she passed away a couple days later. You know, and...
But it sounds like she was at peace with it.
And she was. And I think that was the thing, that she had gotten to that place where she knew the fight was not in her anymore.
Right.
And I don't think that anybody, well, very few of the people that were close were ready for that moment, but I knew it was coming. And I remember she was kind of in a delirium, and she was giving advice to people like the last 24 hours of her life, and every single person in the family she had advice for. Oh, you've got to do this, you got to lose weight, you just got to stop drinking, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. And she held my hand, she goes, Stacy, you're good. She goes, it's all going to be fine. You don't worry about it. Everything's good. And I went, and she died the next day. And as I spoke at, her funeral, I said to everybody, I said, she doesn't want people to cry. She doesn't want people to mourn. She wants people to celebrate how she changed your life.
That's right.
And how you can make a difference in other people's lives by taking that and paying it forward.
Yeah.
And then I lost it. Like, I sat down and just started sobbing. I got through it really happy and positive, and, it was like all Stacy-fied. And then I sat down and I was like, but that's what she would want. And that was the moment where I went, okay, this journey is not done.
Right.
We're going to go back into pageants. We're going to find out what we're going to do, and find the right systems.
Right.
And a year later, I got hit by a truck riding my bicycle, and got married to Michael. And Michael went, "Why don't you do a pageant?" And I went, "Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. I can't walk, but okay, let's try it." And I did, and I won. So. You never know. You never know. So you never know. So, hi, bye. Anyways, so I'm going to ask you, because you are a privacy attorney, and I did pre ask you this. Normally, you don't talk politics in this particular show.
We're not going to talk politics. We're going to talk privacy.
We're going to talk about privacy. As a privacy attorney and someone who is well established as a privacy attorney, clearly, if she's speaking at the UN. What is your opinion of President Obama and the FBI releasing the information about the Russians and their hacking the DNC to the Electoral College the Friday before the Electoral College votes?
I think it's fine. I actually had done a talk to a news source prior to the elections about how elections can be rigged through technology. And there is a man in prison in Colombia, I believe, for rigging the election there. And the way that he did it was he created thousands, 30,000, 40,000 bots on Twitter and social media, and he would create stories. So something that was not even a story, something that was not an issue, you get 10,000 people talking about it, and these 10,000 people are fake, but nobody knows that. Right. You get 20,000 talking about it, then they impact one each. Then you get 30,000 talking about it, and he had at least 30,000 bots. And the news stories start picking them up. The news stations start picking them up. The newspapers start picking them up. All of a sudden, they become stories. And you rig elections. And they asked him if he thought that was being used in the U.S. elections. And he said, oh, I know they're being used. So there's never been any doubt that there is some sort of technology shenanigans going on with the elections. So the fact that President Obama released the knowledge that the government has about what the Russian activity, that's fine. It's the fact that there's a whole much more activity going on out there that we know absolutely nothing about. Now, is this hacking going to go back and reset the Electoral College? We have zero precedent for that. Zero.
No, there's no historical evidence. There's no way for any of us.
Right.
In the history of the United States, it's never happened. If
they would have to prove that the votes actually weren't for Trump. How do you do that? Do you run another election and the only people that can vote were the people that voted before, and now you have to vote the same way you voted before? I don't see that happening.
No.
Because a lot of people were disappointed in how the vote came out. A lot of people voted independent because they didn't want to have to make a choice. They didn't like any of... Lord knows, I wish we could have all done Brewster's Millions and voted none of the above.
None of the above.
But without getting into politics here, and I'm a neutral party thing. How do you possibly go back and prove something like that? You can't. So what impact is it going to have on the presidency?
Yeah. What Carmela asked, but at this point, what difference does it make? It does make a difference, because if the Electoral College is affected, because inevitably the general population vote doesn't matter. It is what the Electoral College votes. So if the Electoral College is affected by the information that they've received, and they feel like there was what do they call it?
It's almost like jury tampering, yes.
Jury tampering. If there was tampering because of social media, because there was false information that was released, because there were things that were going on that was affected, and perhaps now they've been able to prove that really happened, some of the electorates can choose to change their vote.
Right.
Now, they could vote for they could vote for anybody, actually. They don't have to vote for either one of the candidates. They do not.
Right.
If, in the event, they finish voting and no one gets 270 electoral votes, the vote goes to the House of Representatives.
Right. And there's a lot of people that would like to see that happen because it's never happened before.
That is correct.
So it's a case of, was there tampering? Probably. I'm inclined to believe there was, whether it was the Russians with the I don't know. Was there tampering? Yes. What can we do about it? Good Lord only knows. And what does it mean we can do about it? The biggest impact is, what can we do about it moving forward?
Right. Well, that was what I was going to say, is how do you think, as a privacy attorney, we can be better informed about what we're reading in social media and actually know that the information that we're reading is correct?
That's hard to ever define, because you'd have to know how to check your sources, and unless you can go back to the origin of the source, you really can't verify, unless of course the origin of source is you. But it's very, very difficult, especially in social media, to know that, okay, 5,000 of my friends are talking about this topic. What if it's not 5,000? How many of your fans on Twitter or Twitter connections have to be talking about a certain hashtag before you pay attention to it? Those are settings you set up. Well, what if that's all been machinated through technology?
Right.
How do you know?
In a situation with me, like, I did an interview with Miss Universe at Miss Teen USA. That I had a great opportunity to spend a good amount of time with her. It was a very long interview. I was really proud of it. Within 24 hours of me posting it, 4 different news affiliates from the Philippines had picked it up, had taken out all of my watermarks, all of my branding, and had hundreds of thousands of hits on them.
Yep. And that's not the origin of the source.
And it's still me.
Yeah, and you can't go back to the origin and get it.
Right.
So it's crazy. So I would say the best thing people can do, and here in the United States, we have a skewed view of privacy. The way that I explain to people when they say, well, what does a privacy attorney do? Well, here in the United States, you'd think of it more as in HIPAA and patient. And we're very precise about protecting patient information. Everywhere else in the world that has privacy laws, they are that concerned about protecting information on every single individual. So here in the U.S., when you stay at a hotel, you have no privacy rights.
Right.
You really don't. You have some, but you don't have privacy rights for you staying at that hotel. You don't have them in restaurants.
Anytime you log on, right. Every time you log on to a general internet, you've lost those rights. So
here in the U.S., what I tell people to do is you kind of have to be like a nurse when it comes to abuse, whether it's elderly abuse, sexual abuse, child abuse. You have to maintain a high degree of suspiciousness. So with your social media, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. If it seems, wow, that's crazy, could Trump have possibly said he's not going to go to the intelligence meetings because he's too smart already? Question that. Maintain a high degree of suspiciousness because it's possible that it's not true. Now, if you notice my Facebook, I rarely post anything that could be controversial to anybody at any point, at anywhere, at any time. I don't like creating controversy. I prefer to be surrounded by happy puppies and little kittens and
good sparkles and
patty crowns and nice little things that are non-controversial. Can I talk controversy? Yes. I prefer not to do so in a social media context where you have trolls that come along and just slam you one after the other, and they derail the conversation. They're not respecting other people's opinions. They're there simply to cause trouble. And people jump on that and go with the bandwagon.
We get them here. I'll get it. I'm sure I'll get comments on YouTube based on this. So generally, I don't post political stuff, and normally I wouldn't have asked the question except I have an expert here. So at least
you weren't asking a political question. You were asking a privacy question with the hacks. Yes, I think it was appropriate the hacks were released. Do I think they had an impact? Probably. We're human. Can we prove it and do anything about it? Probably not.
Can't do it.
That's just the way the world works.
Okay, so now going forward with pageants, I know you are going to continue competing because you like the
I have 25 more pounds to go. By the time Christmas comes, I'll probably have 30, so you know.
Whatever.
Hey, some of the pageants...
Wow, my face looks really bronze today. Oh my gosh.
Still have bikinis. I mean, not bikinis. They still have swimsuit portions. So, yeah.
It's okay. All right. If it makes you feel good because you're working forward towards a goal that helps you,
exactly.
I'm all for it. If
exactly.
You're doing
and if I happen to look good in a swimsuit after that, okay.
But I don't want you to do a pageant and lose weight because you feel pressure to lose weight because you want to win. I want you to do it for all of the right reasons because you are beautiful. You are stunning. You look amazing.
And that's one of the things that's one of the things that you had said was don't do pageants for the wrong reason. And I think it was funny because I think that's when I pointed out to you, you have it backwards. I'm not doing this to do pageants. I'm doing pageants to get healthier.
Right.
It's kind of, I need that sparkly carrot. Apparently the stick doesn't work, but the carrot does.
Carrot works fine.
Yeah, carrot works. This is sparkly carrot.
Here, wait. Here, I'll show you a good sparkly. This one's a nice one.
That's a nice sparkly carrot.
That's a nice sparkly.
See, I think my sparkly carrot is like right up there. If I'm pointing to the right place. Oh, that one's pretty. Now I love the cancer symbol on that. The ribbon. That's not the ribbon. That's the soldier's one.
Actually, this is the children's.
Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Yeah, I am true country.
True country. But this is actually for children's cancer. So gold is the children's cancer. It. And then this one is it's pink if you look really carefully.
Oh, I do. I see. Oh, look at me looking closer to the computer. Oh, let me see. Yeah. Eyes. Let me get my reading glasses out somewhere.
Stop. Oh my gosh.
Now, I will tell you, as a hospice nurse, I refuse to do children's hospice. I couldn't do it.
It's one of the things that I do pride myself on with the 4-Day Foundation is being able to, for those of you that aren't familiar, one of the charities that I work with is called 4-Day Foundation, and the part of it is called Queen for a Day, where we host parties for girls that are going through cancer treatments, and we do it for boys too. But they don't get crowned. The girls get crowned. But the girls get a crown. They get a makeover. Pageant title holders, come and do these makeovers for them and their nails, and and they get to be kids, and they get to do dress up, and they get to play, and they get to keep everything. So they get a tiara, their own makeup, all of that they get to keep, which I think is fantastic, because a lot of these kids are unfortunately never going to leave the hospital.
Right.
And I had one particular young lady that had gone in. She was end stage. We did a makeover for her, and she got up and she was sitting on the edge of her bed, and she was all animated, and it just so happened that that particular visit we actually had a news crew there. So the news crew got to highlight her, and they got to highlight what was going on, and her oncologist came in, and the oncologist looked at me, and she's like, that's the first time I've seen her out of bed in the 3 months that she's been here. She's never gotten up. And she was just, all sparkly and happy and having a great time. And later in the afternoon, her mom called me, and she says, Mom, she said, when she dies, she wants to be buried wearing her tiara. She's not taking it off. She's going to wear it forever. And I said, okay, great. I said, if you want us to come back and do another visit, you let us know. I said, I know it really raised her hopes. And she passed away 3 days later. And her mom, followed her wishes and buried her with her tiara. And I think to myself, okay, for that one moment, she got to be a kid. She got to be a queen. She got to have that magical moment that we dream. I mean, we're
girls,
older, and we still dream about it. So I
didn't know I was missing this in my life.
Yeah. Exactly. And what girl doesn't dream about being a princess or being a queen? It just is something that. I played with G.I. Joes when I was a little kid, but
right.
would never have thought I'd be doing this now. But those are the things that make a difference. And I know that, being a hospice nurse in general is a very difficult situation, because you do see your patients go through those stages of acceptance. And you kind of
I was a home hospice nurse.
So you probably felt within hours when they were ready to pass.
Well, I'll tell you, and I know we don't have much time left.
I know, we've got like 3 minutes. We can keep going if you want to, but that's fine.
Let me tell you about one of my favorite patients. I worked for a home health company, and we had three categories. We had regular home health, we had IV nurses, and we had hospice nurses. Hospice was certified for IV, and so whenever the hospice nurse took call, she would take all call, home health, IV, and hospice. If IV took it, they could only do home health, so hospice nurses were always on call. And I was on call one night, and one of my favorite patients called. Her daughter called. She was in her 80s. Wonderful, wonderful lady. And they said, well, I don't want to get into too much medical stuff, but she was running a little bit of a temperature. She hadn't urinated much. She hadn't drank much. Could you come see us? This was 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, well, if she's running a little bit of a fever, she's not going to urinate much. She's not going to do this. She's not going to do that. And then went back to bed. Within 5 minutes, I got up and I was like, damn it. And so I got dressed and I went over to her house. And there were cars lining the road. She was from a family of about 11 or 12 people. So she had all of her siblings, their spouses, their children, their children's spouses, grandchildren, their spouses. There were like 100 people in this house. And I had to wind through all of them to get to her. And she was fine. She was alert and she was with it. But as everybody was talking, she kept like that. She'd snap back and snap right back. And I'm like, all right, what are you seeing? And she's like, nothing. And I'm like, if you're seeing something that the rest of us aren't seeing, it's okay, because, you're closer to God than we are. And she said, well, I'm seeing a wheel, and it keeps coming around. And every time it comes around, they reach their hand out. but I don't want to get on it. So I'm like, no, no, no. And I said, well, sweetie, you don't have to. And one of her grandkids came over and they did this whole big prayer session. And then she's like, Kay, Kay. And I was standing behind the bed. Kay, Kay, Kay. I'm like, yeah, right here. She's like, the wheel's coming back around. I'm like, okay. She's like, I want to get on this time. I'm like, okay. I'm sitting here going, what? And she's like, here it comes. I'm like, okay. And she's like, I'm holding my hand out. I'm holding my hand out. And then she goes, and you could have heard a pin drop in the room. A pin drop. And then she goes, what do I do now, Kay? I'm like, yeah, you remember that whole mind, body, soul thing? You're not ready, Mom. She's like, oh, well, screw this. And she sat up on the side of the bed. She's like, somebody bring me my bedroom slippers. I'm tired of this. She lasted probably about another 3 weeks or so. But my favorite patient, I mean, it was just the most dramatic moment, but it wasn't her time. And I knew that. She apparently didn't know that. But just, you think about the will, and it wasn't God's will for her to get on.
Right.
You know? Just an amazing woman. I learned so much about life and living and dying, and it's a natural part of living. And people think I'm so callous that I can talk about dying, but these patients taught me more than I've learned from anything else the rest of my life. And my grandmother, who was also a nurse, my mother also is too, said she wanted me to give up being a hospice nurse because it made me cry too much. And I said, I'll quit being a hospice nurse when I stop crying. So, but children,
it's a hard one. I mean, but you know, the truth of the matter is that they're resilient, and they are. I mean, I'm very blessed because everyone always asks, if you could change having cancer, would you change having cancer? And I go, no, I wouldn't. I don't think that I would. If there's anything I could change, I would change probably being hit by a truck riding my bicycle.
I would change that one. I've been hit by a car myself. I didn't have the traumatic results you did, but I've been hit by a car and I've been thrown off the back of a truck. So, and hit.
I mean, yeah, I think that would be one that I would get rid of. But having cancer, I think, no, because I became a better person in the process. You know, I learned more about me. I learned how to be more compassionate. I learned more about how much I can have a positive effect on the future, and how I can be able to help other people. And I learned that I say
you are who you are because of who you are.
I learned that I say I a lot. The Princess Diaries, when Princess Mia decides to become princess, and she goes,
yes.
I learned that I say me a lot. And it's true. It's true. All of a sudden, it's not about me. It's about you.
Right.
It's about you. So.
It is.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your new platform, or what you're working forward with. We've been working on it a little bit, and we haven't really touched base since that first night that we were brainstorming. So let's talk a little bit about that and where you see it going.
Well, you're not the only person who said something to me. It was funny. I think it's hilarious because it's so not me, but so many people have said, quit doing other things, Kay. You need to do you.
Right.
Be you. Who you are is what impacts other people, so be you. And so one of the things that I had thought of was I do all kinds of social gaffes and mess ups, and I mean, it's like people are like, that's okay. And so I decided to do something with the that's okay, or it's okay.
Right.
And turn it into it's okay for other people to be who you are.
Right.
You don't have to be the top of your game. You don't have to be the winner. You don't have to be the loser. You don't have to be the victim. You can be who you are, and it's okay.
Thank you, Kermit.
It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be who you want to be. It's okay that it doesn't match what anybody around you is doing. I mean, Lord knows I think I was abducted by aliens and dropped in the deep south, because that's so not me. But I am proud of my Southern heritage. But my best friend growing up was a black girl. And yes, I say black because that's what she told me to call her. She said, don't you ever call me an African American. I've never been to Africa. Nobody I know is from Africa. She said, you call me black.
Kudos for her. Tell her I love
right?
her. Yeah. No,
and she's amazing. And when I said that to someone one time, I said, well, my black friend, and they went, you can't say that. And I'm like, but that's what she wants me to call her. And usually I just say my friend. I'm only saying black now because I'm talking about Southern. I wasn't allowed to go to her house. We couldn't ride in a car together. They canceled my senior prom because there were 3 couples in the school that were mixed race.
Oh my gosh.
And my first reunion, my 10-year reunion, they did it segregated. The white people went to the country club. The black people went to Howard Johnson's. I don't like that part of the South.
Oh my gosh, Kay, I can't, I mean, again, being from Detroit, I can't, I mean, it's weird being in Miami because I'm a minority, being an American, like, white, being typical white, I mean,
well, white people are the minority globally.
My high school was 75% Hispanic, 15% Jamaican, and 5% Caucasian.
I like the Jamaican part. I want to be Jamaican.
Oh man, and they were so much fun. They were some of my favorite friends to hang out. I mean, because they just like they're happy and they're just very, I mean, just like it's like really life is short. Let's just have fun,
right?
And, and that was like, I mean, so but growing up in Detroit, I mean, because I grew up in a suburb of Detroit, but that was pretty. I hate saying it, waspy, but it really was. So like, I mean, I always get bummed out because I was born in Motown when Motown was cool. Like when Motown was Motown, when the Supremes and Smokey Robinson and the Jackson 5 and all of these groups that you hear about were big there, being stars, being when Motown Records was in Detroit. And I just think, dang it, man. I mean, when I moved to Miami, like, music that I had known for, like, 6 or 7 months was just starting to hit here, and I thought, wow, how strange.
You're like, that's so 5 minutes ago.
Whatever. And everyone's like, how do you know the words to this song? I said, well, because it's been out for a long time.
You were a cool kid. Yeah, I was Southern when it wasn't cool.
Wow. See, I did.
I'm still not sure it's cool.
Well,
but I will say, I walk into a room and people are like, oh, that must be Kay. They're talking with a Southern accent. I'm like, you do realize I'm not the only redneck in Arizona, right?
My whole family's from West Virginia, so, like, I
oh, wow. I think it's one of the only states I haven't been to.
I have been to 42 states, but I have not been to the Northwest. That's the area that I have not been to. So I've been everywhere else.
I don't like snow and cold.
Well, it is on my. Well, I haven't been to Alaska or Hawaii, so like that'll be on my list eventually.
Those were the first 2 cruises we did. They told us if you ever do a cruise, you have to go to Hawaii or Alaska. So those were the first 2 we did. The first was Hawaii. The second was Alaska.
My only one was Bahamas.
Oh. I have to say, what I hate about cruises is that the cruise port cities, they're so commercialized. You can't get to know anything about the area. You have to go do something out of the city. But
it's like doing pageants.
Right? Let's do a pageant on a cruise ship. Hello?
Did we see anything in the city we were in? No. What did we see? We saw the airport.
The ship.
The ship. That's all we saw.
That was the one thing my husband said he didn't like about me doing Women of Achievement. Because he didn't want to go back to the Queen Mary.
Oh.
He said it was nice to visit, but he didn't like staying there.
It was
said,
really...
well, sweetie, if we stay somewhere else, I can't come and go from my room when I'm sick.
I was so upset when I had my luxurious tour through Long Beach in the back of an EMS truck and not being able to see anything because it was... And then my Uber ride back to the ship in the morning.
Well, at least you got out to see something.
I got to see Long Beach.
I mean, hopefully you had some sexy EMTs. I'm just saying.
They were cute. Yes, they were cute.
See?
And all the people that were in my room were all like, "Dude, they were cute." I was like,
Right.
"Yeah, I don't know. I don't even pay." Now the ones from when I got hit by the truck, they were all cute.
Right.
Oh.
I don't know what it is about EMTs. It's more than just the uniform, and it's more than just they're there to save your life, but they're hot.
It was funny because there were two trucks that came to pick me up. I don't know, were they thinking I was in pieces, or I don't know. So
Humpty Dumpty.
well, and the accident happened 1,000 feet from a hospital. I was literally in the crosswalk of a hospital, so it wasn't like
Wow.
and they were like, "Well, you have a really expensive bicycle, ma'am. Do you want us?" I'm like, "Ma'am, okay." I'm like, "Would you like us to take your bicycle back to the fire station for you? Because the fact that it was so expensive saved your life." And I was like, "Sure, I'll go visit you guys another day, whatever." And they're like,
y'all can
"Would
bring
you
it over
like
to my
us?"
house. I'll cook.
Right, sure. They're like, "Would you like us to take you to the hospital?" And I went, "Because I'm not going to walk the 1,000 feet to the front of the hospital, so yeah, I'm going to go with, sure, put me in the back of the truck. We're fine. All 12 of you, just jump in. We'll be good." So, like,
You're not paying attention to anything else.
it was even funnier when the doctor was like, "So we're going to give you some Dilaudid now for the pain." I'm like, "What's Dilaudid?" And then the Dilaudid hit, and I went, "Oh. Okay, I'm good."
Yeah, I'm going to. Bye-bye.
Do you know how much I took while I was on the ship? Because I had it on the
No.
ship with me. Oh, yeah.
All I know is I thank God you had Flexeril, because my doctor was not responding with me going, "I need Flexeril." I still haven't gotten that straight. Apparently, a month after it happened, or 3 weeks after it happened, is they called the prescription in to California.
Awesome. There you go.
So now I'm trying to get it moved back to Arizona so I can have some Flexeril. Because I'm allergic to most everything.
Oh, no, I am too. I mean,
So there's only a few things I
there's
can
only
take.
a few things I can take. I mean, and every doctor that looks at, when I give them medical stuff, they're like, "Wait, you take Dilaudid, like, on a regular basis?" I'm like, "It's in my purse." They're
Yeah,
like,
I can't take Dilaudid either, actually.
What?
The only one I can take is Demerol, and I can only get it in the hospital, and most
hard to
hospitals
get.
won't carry it anymore.
Right. Yeah. Because I can't take any of the codeine, so it's like...
Yeah, right? I can't either.
So.
Yeah. It kind of stinks. I go to a hospital for an ER, and they're like, "Yeah, we got a drug seeker here." I'm like, "Yeah, woohoo! Knock me up with some Advil."
Give me the hard stuff.
Right?
Oh my
There's
gosh.
my platform right there. Advil or nothing, baby.
That's okay.
That's okay. Wasn't that a drinking game? Every time you said "that's okay," someone had to take a
That's
drink.
okay. Someone has to take a drink. Or eat chocolate. We didn't bring it. That's okay.
I brought my water. I'm good right here.
Hello, my life would not be smart water.
It doesn't make you any smarter, right? I'm just saying.
I know. But it has plenty of electrolytes so that it keeps me hydrated in a way, because I can't have
Yes.
Gatorade and all the other stuff. So.
Well, I have my doctor's telling me, or my personal trainer, which I only just started getting a personal trainer this year, but he's telling me to stay away from the Powerades. I drink Powerade Zero. Yet I have the doctors telling me I have to drink it because I need more electrolytes and salt. Apparently, according to the studies, that doesn't have any more electrolytes than most other water.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I drink. Well,
But then
actually,
I haven't
know
looked
what-
it up or gone back to the source to verify the origin of the truth, so...
there you go. I mean, honestly, I don't know that it makes a difference. It makes me feel better, and then I eat a pickle.
And
Actually,
if it tastes better, go for it.
pickles actually are very high in all the electrolytes. So if you
Really?
have a pickle spear, yeah,
So I need pickles?
yes,
Okay.
very high. A lot of football teams now are keeping pickles on the sidelines.
The dill pickles? The big super dill pickles you used to get as a kid and eat? Okay.
I do kosher dill, like kosher pickles, like Clausen, but yeah.
Oh, the little ones?
Yeah, I mean, no, dill pickles, like the real, the big
Right.
ones, yeah. But do like a spear, or do like, like get the ones that's in quarters.
Ooh.
So do 1 or 2 spears.
I might have to try that.
Yeah, and it actually
apparently I need a whole lot more salt.
It raises your salt, but it raises your potassium, it raises your magnesium. So go figure. What happened?
I had a piece of hair I didn't like.
Oh, I've got one stuck in my mouth, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Hi, Toilet. How are you? Good to see you, Magic Rabbit. Thanks. By the way, everybody, I'm Stacy Simpson. This is Pageantry Now. I'm here with Kay Royal, who is Mrs. Elite Southwest Woman of Achievement. For those who are not familiar,
meaning I'm old.
She's not old. Stop.
Hey, I just had a birthday. I'm 48 years old.
You are 48 years young. 48. Thank you.
I usually tell people I'm 74, and I look darn good for my age.
I'm 50, but I was preserved by chemotherapy.
There we go.
There we go.
Benefits.
Yes. But I am Mrs. Elite Florida, Woman of Achievement.
That's right.
And
you are a darn good one, too.
I'm a darn good one. What?
You're a darn good one.
Okay, thank you for being Mrs. Elite Florida. I'm the only one right now. Someone will take my title the first week in February, so I will crown my 6th.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, I will crown. You'll be 25! Yay! You're half my age. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Whatever. I could be your mom.
Older women.
Oh, dude, let's not even go.
Lovers. Older women. They understand. I can't sing. I'm sorry. You notice I did not sing in my talent.
I did.
And you did a fabulous job. I was so proud of you.
I have no idea. I couldn't hear over the music, so I have.
You made everyone smile and clap and have a blast.
Oh, you will be 26 in April. Okay, so there you go.
So he's a little more than half your age.
Well, actually, my birthday. Yeah, a little. You're right. You are correct, madam. You're correct, madam. Right. So tell us about the website and what are you going to do with That's Okay? And
I'm going to do my best to build a website. I am so totally not technologically competent. I understand the privacy implications. I don't know how to program anything. I also do a blog called It's a Royal Life. And it's a blog between my daughters and I, because all 3 of us having autoimmune disorders, people want to know, well, wow, if all 3 of you have it, how do you approach things? So we actually blog about the 3 of us dealing with lupus. And so we run a blog called It's a Royal Life. I also have a blog called The Heart of Privacy, where I talk about privacy stuff.
Can you type them in the chat? Are you on your computer or on your phone?
I can type those into the chat. I can actually get a link for them. Let me see.
Fantastic.
Right now, let me see if I do one for Heart of Privacy blog posts. I don't get a whole lot of hits, but I'm okay with that. Because it'll learn. Okay, so here's one. This is about, how do I see this? If I update it, will it tell me to view it? You see me on the computer trying to figure this out as I go. Okay, got it. View it. Post,
That's how I do the show whenever I do the show.
Okay, let me come back to you now. La 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 la. Here's the Heart of Privacy. And my current one is about, did it post?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. My current one is actually about Trump and cybersecurity. So kind of what you and I were talking about a little bit earlier, but not the same one. And then let me go to Life is a Royal. Oh, sorry. Not It's a Royal Life, but Life is a Royal. And we'll just go to this one. This is talking about me.
Do we know who won Miss World? Should I look? Do I even dare?
What?
Do we know who won Miss World?
There we go. There we go. So Life is a Royal. There we go. So I'm hoping to kind of take that same premise and turn it into a That's Okay. I think I had to get the website. It's Yes, It's Okay, or Yes, That's Okay. I'll let you know when I finalize it. But I'm trying to figure out how to build it and what to put on it. But I want it to be more of a coaching. Inspiring people to go to college, because especially minorities. This wonderful young man that I absolutely love, I mentored him. He came to live with us for a little while in California to go to college. He had no intention of graduating college because he can get a job making enough money now. But as I tried to explain to him, until the leaders of this nation, which means your state leaders, your national leaders, your local leaders, resemble that of the population you serve, the issues that are important to your population will not be recognized. So if you want this nation to change and you want to recognize minorities and diversity and be inclusive, and inclusive does not mean accepting diversity, inclusivity means celebrating it. You want people of diverse cultures and backgrounds because of the differences that they bring, because of the different mindset that they bring. But until the leadership of this nation, whether it's local or national, resembles that of our population, we're never going to see it. So that's kind of what I want it to be, is that it's okay to be you. Shoot for the stars. Aim for the moon. If you miss, you land among the stars. That's my favorite saying.
No, it's true. It's true.
So hopefully it'll be a place where people can go and they can be inspired to say, you know what, it's okay. It's all right that I messed up here, but now I have this.
Right. Well, and I think that's the goal of our lives, is to... We spend a lot of time in our country trying to be stuff that we're not, or trying to be what the images are that are thrown at us all the time, or the expectations of what our peer pressure gives us, or our parents give us, or, and the reality is, at the end of the day, I believe we're all perfect, and we just have to embrace our perfection. What makes us imperfect makes us perfect.
Right.
And
exactly.
And there's nothing you can't do if you really believe that you could do it,
Right.
And just getting to there and getting through there and getting to that point where you just believe you can do it is such a huge step. Even though it's a really simple mentality to think of, everybody goes, oh, I can't do that. And I'm like, I love you too, Ivory. I love you so much. It really is. One day you wake up and you go, yep, this is it. I'm going to do this. Yeah. And if I fail doing it, I've learned so much about myself, so it doesn't matter if I fail.
Exactly. There's no such thing as failing. There's only learning.
It's learning.
And you can set a huge goal for yourself. Maybe it's not achievable at one point. I can't say I'm going to start a pageant and all of a sudden I'm going to be Mrs. World.
Right.
Now, there are some women who could do that, and they do it their first time. It's not me.
But you know what?
More things I need to learn. Maybe what I need to learn is not be Mrs. World.
Right. You just need to learn how to embrace being K.
Right.
And find the system that embraces you being K.
Right. Well, and the part for me was, thank you, Ivory. The part for me was the fact that I didn't know this is what I was missing. My whole life, I fought and fought and fought to get ahead. Went from one domestic violence marriage to another domestic violence marriage, and I had two girls that I had to protect. And I found love when I wasn't looking for it. The man I'm married to now is amazing, but not through anything I did. Found him accidentally online. We met online and got married within 6 months. And we've been married over 15 years now. And I absolutely love him, but he doesn't love me despite who I am. He loves me who I am. And he understands that with the tough attorney, because heaven forbid the people who underrate my intelligence because I'm Southern. They can kiss my grits.
Oh, baby.
Or because I wear pink. Or because I like to be a girly girl. But I do like to be a girly girl. And I didn't know that that was missing in my life. Not to be recognized for this. Because everything I've ever won or accomplished or been has been brain power. I want to be recognized for the whole package. For me as a person. Which means being a lady, and it means being a pageant queen.
No, and that's it.
Sorry, not sorry.
No, and you shouldn't be. I mean, it's like so. I am not. I laugh and I say there are different Stacys. I love you. I miss you so much, Ivory. Um, there are different Stacys. There's Miss Stacy, who teaches and is a teacher and is a coach and does all of the things that I do. And then there's Pageant Stacy, who is does pageants and is in the media and goes to these crazy things, and I don't know how that happened, but okay, we're just gonna run with it. And then there's the, oh my gosh, I got hit by a truck and I've had cancer and open heart surgery that lays in bed Stacy, which most people don't see. And I don't let a lot of people see that, because I always see that as my weakness, because I am from a family of domestic violence. And then
you don't show weakness.
Yeah, and because I was raised that way, and because it's all I know, I went into relationships that were either emotionally or physically abusive as well.
Right.
And I didn't know, because I didn't know better. I didn't know that there was anything else.
Right. I'm with you. No, I didn't either.
And everyone always goes, you've been married 4 times? I'm like, well, because I made lots of mistakes, because I didn't know that it was okay to let someone love me.
Right.
Or
for
to
whom
let
you are.
Right.
For
Or
all
to let
of
someone,
whom you are.
Right. Or to let someone take care of me, because that was the other thing
Right.
too, is that I wouldn't let someone do that.
Right.
There are a handful of people that have seen me at my most vulnerable, and they know who they are.
Right.
And
that's something hard to accept about yourself. And I wasn't open about my disabilities and about my domestic violence life or the things that I faced until after I graduated law school, and realized that so many of the students there felt abandoned and alone, and as if they had no support, because they were going through one or more of those same things. They were in an abusive relationship, or they had chronic disabilities or something. They were struggling, and they didn't think that anybody could relate to them. You always feel like it's only me. Nobody else understands. It's only me, and somehow I should be able to get better. And so I became more open about mine in order to be a resource to others. And I still don't open up about all of it. As I mentioned, my youngest daughter competes in pageants, and I don't remember if it was a pageant essay she was writing or a scholarship essay, because she's aiming for medical school. But she asked me if I minded if she discussed the domestic violence. And I had to take a deep breath and say, well, of course you can. You lived through it. Now, it was me abused, but they were there.
right.
I said, you lived through it. And she said, but I was a child. They were 7 when I moved to Arizona. And my second husband stalked us, and turned out he died in a domestic. When he tried to stop domestic violence, he got stabbed in the heart and died. So talk about karma being a
Wow.
witch. But he had stalked us that whole time, and the cops wouldn't do anything about it because he wasn't doing anything to hurt us. He was just following us.
Right.
So anyway, she asked if she could talk about it, and I said yes. And she said, well, since I was a child, can I ask you questions about it so I can understand it more from my perspective? Thank you, Ivory. And I told her she could ask questions about the second husband. She could not ask questions about her father. I will never consciously, to my knowledge, ever tell them what their father did. And I don't think that's anything a person needs to know about their parent.
Right.
So.
And that's, I
Yeah.
It took me a very, very, very long time to say a lot of the things that I say now.
Yeah.
And both of my parents now know that I'm vocal about it, and they're just not so happy about that.
I don't think my mother's probably happy about it. I know my ex-husband isn't happy about it.
But you know what? Honestly, it happened. And
Exactly.
and for me to deny talking about it, or to deny my ability to be able to get that out, I think isn't fair either. But on the same token, like we've talked about this, I'm going to write a book, but it's like, do I want to write this book and then have it become a bestseller and then have to deal with outing my parents?
you and I are in the same boat. People have been telling me for years to write a book because my ex-mother-in-law, and since she's not my in-law, I call her my outlaw, is notorious in Mississippi. And so for years people have been telling me to write a book, and I've started writing it. And then I had to go from the legal perspective with my family and look up some of the things they did, and turns out there's not a statute of limitations. So I can't talk openly about some of the things they did because they could still be arrested and charged.
Yeah.
So, and as much as I may not respect them, I do still love them.
Right, exactly.
And so it's kind of hard to put someone you love in a position, well, it's really hard to put someone you love in a position like that. So I have to kind of rethink exactly how honest I can be.
Yeah, I've even gone as
that.
far. I've even gone as far as to like start writing the book and change the names. Then I was like, okay, there's no way that people are not going to know that this is.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. I put a disclaimer in the first of mine that's like, these are my recollections and my opinions. They may or may not be actually true. And if I change the names, it's probably not to protect the innocent.
Ivory, I love you. Ivory is the Teen Miss Community Service America with the Accomplished American program.
Wow.
She actually got involved in the pageant because she met me on the show and became
Nice.
Teen Miss Illinois, and then won the national title as well. So I'm very, very proud of her, and I feel bad.
Now that's the one you tell me to get involved with, right?
I didn't know.
I did not say that. Nobody's watching. That didn't happen. But you've mentioned that pageant to me when I've asked you about what other pageants are out there. That's one of the ones that you've mentioned to me.
And I mentioned it only because positive experiences.
Right.
You know, I believe that it is a positive pageant. I think Women of Achievement is a positive pageant.
Yes.
You know, I know that when you're looking at, you know, trying to get into a system, it's so important to be able to find something that matches who your personality, what your personality is, and what highlights the things that are best about you. So that to me is something that I feel highlights, you know, what we do, just like Live with Women of Achievement. And I think that was the thing with me competing in some of the other systems is, you know, I wasn't plus size enough to be in a plus pageant, but I wasn't thin enough to do, you know, the typical Mrs. pageant like Mrs. America.
Right.
Although, but you know what, I was like, you know, eventually I'm going to find where I belong, and when I do, it'll be great, and if I don't, I don't. You know, I just happened to be very, very blessed and got some really great opportunities, and, you know, I mean, I've had some amazing titles, and I've had some amazing national titles and international titles, and great opportunities. At the end of the day,
got a good friend of mine who was top 15 in Miss America, went to law school with me, and she is a pageant purist. So when I posted about being Mrs. Elite Southwest Woman of Achievement, she asked me, so what did you compete in to get that? What did you do to get that? And she doesn't believe in some of these pageant systems. And I told her that I respect her opinion and I respect what she's done. I absolutely respect what she's done. She's beautiful, she's accomplished, she's highly intelligent. I said, but you know, there are those of us out here who we're missing something in our lives, and we can't go back and compete in the Miss America or the Miss USA.
Right.
Or we're not that body type. We're not what they're looking for. And we're looking for something that validates who we are as women. Or as some people say, there should be pageants for men. I believe there are
systems out there for men as well.
But we're looking for those who value who we are.
Right, exactly.
And we're looking for validation. And maybe at some point I won't need this external validation. Apparently I raise girls who don't need the external validation. Yay!
But I don't think it's an external validation. Right. I mean, and I could be wrong. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just feel like, for me, it's not. It has nothing to do with...
People do it for different reasons. Yeah, some people are looking for that national forum to be, as I do,
Right.
I joke about the external validation, but part of it is true. I have an incredibly low self-esteem. Very, very low. I have a very high self-confidence, which people think that can't coexist. But I'm very confident in what my abilities and my skills are. I know exactly what I can do. What I don't have confidence in is who I am as a person. So I have a very low self-esteem, but a very high self-confidence. And so I do look for that sparkly carrot. But on the other hand, I'm not doing it just for that reason. The reason I'm doing it is to give me that forum to reach more people.
Right.
And that's why I'm looking for the system I'm looking for, is because I want something that's meaningful and substantive.
And it's hard to find. And you know, and that's the thing, is like I'm very blessed. Again, I've competed in the USA system, so I did do that.
Wow.
I was a title holder for
Wow.
the USA system a very long time ago.
You're amazing.
No, baby. No. No.
I never had that confidence at that age.
I don't
And
know
I
that
was
I
a
did
size
either.
zero and 5'7" and 93 pounds.
I was a gymnast, so like, you know, I go back and I look at the pictures and go, whoa. I mean, so, you know, I mean, it's fine. It was crazy going back and judging my 30th year anniversary.
Wow.
And I just went, okay, there you go. Now we've done that. Well, that was great. I didn't go to my 30-year reunion, but I went back to judge my 30-year title. So, you know, whatever. But back then it was about the sparklies, and it was about,
right.
you know, because I had such huge issues with low self-esteem. It was about being able to have, you know, something to show for something. Hey, beautiful, how are you? And I think that's where my mindset changed this time. So I'm not 26, Ivory. I'm 50, but I love you. But you know, I think that as you do pageants, you change and you evolve, and you grow, and your goals change and evolve, and you know that. So sorry, I keep coughing. I apologize. So, you know, it's just like you're at that place right now where it's like the crossroads, finding the right system that works for you, finding what you need to be able to give you the sparkly carrot to make you work towards feeling better about yourself. You know, because that's a huge issue. Is being self-confident is great, but when you're self-confident, it can be a great facade. I mean, it almost,
right.
Because it's covering up the way you feel inside, which the way you feel inside and that confidence should match together, I believe. And I think that pageants can be a great way to be able to have that. And by getting positive, I'm older than her, Ivory. I love you, but
she doesn't look it.
I'm older than her, but thank you.
I'm 74 and I look darn good, Stacy. Hush.
You look way good for 74, baby. White hot. I love you. But I think it's important to get to that place where they come together. And
right.
And that's part of where, you know, I use this as a venue to be able to allow that to happen. You know, right. Where we are able to allow young women and we get young women, young men, teenagers that are looking to just, you know, feel good about themselves. Thank you. I love you. And I think that that's super, super important. And if we as role models can be able to, even if it is being self-confident and having that self-confidence be beautiful, and for them to see that as a role model, that right. starts to elevate your self-esteem as well. Because right. then you realize, oh, wait, not only am I, you know, able to project what I do well, but I'm able to project it so well that I'm helping other people feel better about themselves
Right.
And that's a huge, and that's where, that's where I'm at. So that's where I am.
No, I think that's key. It's what we talked about originally, is being able to inspire other people to seek out their dreams. I didn't know this was a dream. But if I can get up on stage in my big old pregnant looking self in a swimsuit or whatever it takes, and then what can you not do?
Hashtag cancel.
What can you not do, right?
Cancel.
If you can do that, what can you not do?
Right. So you just got to get to the place where you don't use that internal dialogue and you go, I can get up there and I can rock a swimsuit.
Or not rock it and not care. But I got curves they can't handle. I'm just saying.
Maybe. Yeah. It's all... And anybody... one of the best role models that I can tell you, if you really want to be able to look at it that way, the reigning Mrs. Galaxy is a size 14-16.
Oh, wow.
In a pageant that has historically been on the level of Miss Universe or Miss World, that the idea that the title holders are beautiful and glamorous and tall and amazing. And let me tell you, she is stunning and articulate and intelligent and rocks every inch of it and worked her swimsuit on stage better than any of the other women out there. So don't think you got to be a size 2. Look her up. She is fabulous. And if you go to my YouTube, if you watch the last 10 minutes of the Galaxy pageant, you can watch her winning moment, but you can see her compete. I live streamed it, so it's actually on my YouTube page.
Oh,
so
I will go watch that.
Go back, watch the whole pageant. She is fabulous. Fantastic. Absolutely should have won, and I think that she is a huge... You need to see her.
I will go watch it.
You need to see her, because that is truly showing that doesn't matter what size you are, it matters about how you feel about yourself.
And the confidence that you project. And see, I can project the confidence sitting here talking to you.
Right.
Walking on stage in something, not so much.
But see, that's where we have to get you to.
Right. And if it was an oral competition, I got no problem with it.
Okay.
As an attorney, I make my living talking, so,
Yeah, I'm sure you rocked interview.
Interview wasn't bad. I was the last person they interviewed out of the entire
competition. You were last the whole competition.
I was last the entire... Okay, as they said, I was not last. I was the final contestant. The entire competition. Yeah. So, and in interview, it was 11:30 at night. They were running late. I walked in. I was like, all right, I'm the last one you got. Let's have fun. Let's rock this puppy.
Have a good time. So, overall, you're enjoying your pageant experience?
I am loving it. I am meeting people like you. I am meeting people like Kim Jones, the reigning Mrs. Elite. I don't know what the rest of her title is.
U.S. Woman of Achievement.
There you go. The reigning Mrs. Elite U.S. Woman of Achievement. And she's amazing. And Lindsay, who won the Mrs., not the Elite, just the Mrs. U.S. Woman of Achievement. Oh my gosh.
Well, everybody that won is phenomenal.
Amazing.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's funny how I came out of it saying sour grapes are okay if the sour grapes are about you. I was upset about how I did. I was not upset that anybody else won or anyone else did better or who I competed against. I was going, wow, Kay, you really could have done better in this. But,
dude, I was just glad I made it off the stage and I didn't vomit on
right?
anybody. I was like, hello.
Right. I was like, okay, I didn't fall.
I've done that.
I didn't fall. I'm good. I didn't trip. Didn't wear the dress I wanted to wear, but I didn't trip. I was okay. But they were amazing. And that's the thing, is all the people that I have met have been so amazing. Wonderful. From the directors to the judges to the other contestants. They're simply amazing. I don't know how you could find a better group of people. And when I hear one of the judges said this was the closest knit group of women that he'd ever had the pleasure of judging. He'd never seen another pageant system where the women were as well connected as we were. It was amazing. You don't get that experience anywhere else.
No, you don't. I mean, it's very, very seldom that you find that there's... I shouldn't say that, because having been at Miss Universe, been, behind the scenes at Miss Universe, seeing, doing events with... Well, not even butt glue, just being, being at events with the girls and seeing them, texting each other and taking pictures together. And
right.
you see them being... 20-somethings together. Just, oh my gosh, I'm in another country. I can't believe I'm in another country. Let me,
right.
Or when Miss Universe walks in, they go, oh, she's here. And you think, oh my
right.
gosh, you are a national title holder.
Right.
And then you think to yourself, okay, they're just regular, normal people.
They're normal
having
people.
A good time.
They may be beautiful, accomplished, self-confident, normal people. But you know what? I bet they put their britches on one leg at a time.
Oh, heck yeah. And their butt glue.
And their butt glue. Which were things I never knew I needed to learn. Just saying.
Oh, gosh. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the term butt glue is a spray-on adhesive to hold your swimsuit down so it doesn't ride up in the back. And we'll leave it at that.
Yes, exactly.
Hairspray works as well, but not so well. Anyways, trade secrets. All right.
PC.
So
PC.
PC. I'm so glad honestly, this is what it's about for me, and I'm so glad that we've been on for almost 2 hours. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know, right?
Your husband was like, I thought this was an hour.
My hair is completely fallen, but
You look, stop it. Cancel. I am just going to cancel.
I didn't say it looked bad. I just said it fell.
No, it looks great. You look fabulous. See?
I get all the hair out of my face.
All right, so what's in the future? What are you going to do next?
What's in the future? I have got to decide today if I am going to compete in the Mrs. Women of Achievement again this next year. And I think I'm going to. So I've got to decide if I'm going to do that. And it's a fabulous pageant, so if I decide not to achieve, it's simply going to be for other reasons. Has nothing against the pageant whatsoever. And I have to lose 25 pounds but to be healthy. Not to look good, to be healthy. And I have to start my whole effort of my nonprofit of working with people to help inspire them to be comfortable with who they are. And if they're not comfortable, to set a goal to get to where they want to be and how to do that.
Awesome.
That's next.
So, we'll work together and try to rebuild the world?
Yes.
Make it a better place?
Yes. And I'm going to try to educate the population about privacy because they just don't know it.
I agree. I mean, honestly, I wish that I had known you when the whole thing happened, when my stuff got pirated, because honestly, yeah, seriously.
See, because here's the thing. You had already copyrighted it. Copyright means that you put it in a fixed media. It was already in a fixed media. It didn't matter that they removed your branding. It was your copyright, and you were owed back funds they made from it.
Gee, what's the statute of limitations on that?
I'll have to check and see. I know some copyright attorneys.
It happened in July.
And it may be that they didn't make money. They just got fame from it, but it was a missed opportunity for you.
Yeah, and they got very angry when I contacted them directly and said, you need to remove this immediately. This is mine.
Exactly.
This is my brand. And they got really upset. And of course, I did the proper channels. I went through and I reported it the way you're supposed to, but I contacted them. I contacted them independently and gave them the opportunity to take it down, and when they didn't, then I reported it. And then, of course, their accounts got shut down, and I got nasty responses back. And I said, you had the opportunity to change it. Dude.
That's right. If they want to run a business, they need to be an adult.
Sometimes you got to play hard, and it happens. Whatever. It is, unfortunately, the world of social media. All right, my love. I love you so much. I'm so grateful that I have you in my life. I'm so grateful that, our crowns we have. We wear them every single day. everything that we do makes us one step closer to whatever end title it is that we have. I think at the end of it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what crown you wear as a sparkly. It's how you conduct yourself and the things that you do with it.
What you do with it.
So you are a queen every single day, changing the world, being strong, being independent, overcoming all of the challenges that you do every single day, and doing it with smile and grace and a little southern charm.
Thank you. And thank you for having me on here. This has really been fun. I love listening to you. I tried very hard not to think about the frog question until you asked it because I want it to be a real answer.
It's
becoming. And thank you for being such an inspiration.
Seriously. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Ivory, thanks for being here. Thank you for everybody. I really appreciate it. Again, without the fans, without the people that come and watch the show, why even bother? And I hope that if you are not familiar with the show, this is our last official show for the year. We'll start again the second week in January. So
I was the final contestant.
You were my final contestant of the year. A great way to end it. Great show. So thank you very much.
Wonderful.
I love you so much, and we'll do this again. Do me a favor. Text me. Well, text me after we're done. All right.
I will. You're not getting rid of me.
No, I know. I've got to ask you a question about something anyway. So.
Make sure.
Okay. Bye, my love. Thank you so much. Thanks. All right, everybody. It has been an honor and a privilege to have Kay Royal on my show, and that's okay. And being able to have the reigning Mrs. Elite Southwest Woman of Achievement. She's more than that. Of course, as always, Ivory, I love you. Teen Miss Community Service America with the Accomplished American Program. My sister queen. So, two of my sister queens on at the same time. Hey, Caitlin, how are you? Hashtag be kind to one another. Hashtag Ellen. And that wraps the show. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. And we will see you in the new year. Much love. That's a wrap.